Good morning again, Year 4. This is actually your last proper maths lesson of the half term because tomorrow we are setting up a TT Rockstars battle between you guys and Year 5. So maximum effort into applying your fraction knowledge to fractions greater than 1 today. So, as you can see, our LI says to explore fractions greater than 1. Before that, though, can you have a go at completing the part-whole models here for these 3 questions? I have my whole at the top here, and I have 3/10. So what else am I going to need to put here? 3/10 added to what equals 1. And here 7/10 plus something equals my whole 1 there again, and then 1/10 plus 1/10 plus something. Pause the video and answer those. Okay, so hopefully here you had 7/10, because that means I would have 3 plus 7 equals 10, and our denominator stays the same. So 10/10, which is the same as 1 whole, which also means, excuse me, 3/10 here and 7/10 there makes a whole. 1/10 plus 1/10 plus 8/10 makes that part whole model complete. Success criteria for today: to know what fractions represent parts of a whole, and to know that different fractions can represent more than a whole. Key vocab: fraction. A fraction represents a part of a whole. And mixed number, new one this week. A whole number and a fraction, so that it might look like 3 and then a half. So you've got your whole number and then a fraction, or it could be 5 and a 7th, and so on. So, as you can see in the model here, this is 1 whole. And if we divided that into sevenths, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, we can see that a whole is equivalent to 7/7. So 7/7 is the same as 1. Hopefully you understand that based on prior knowledge from earlier in the week. This is where our learning for today comes into action, because now we have 2 wholes. So I have that same model here: 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7. So 7/7, which we know is equal to 1 whole. But then I have that again. So I have another 7/7 to give me the second one there. So 14/7 equals 2. This couldn't be 14/14, because that would be 1 whole. We need 14/7. So again, let's imagine these are chocolate bars. Mr. Arnold has eaten 3 of his chocolate bar. How much chocolate is left all together? It's also supposed to say here, sorry, Mr. Venton has eaten 2/7 of his chocolate bar. So we've removed the 2/7 from here, and we've removed the 3/7 from here. So the equation we're left with is 5/7 Mr. Venton's plus 4/7 Mr. Arnold's. And it looks like this: 5/7 plus 4/7. So all we do is we add the numerators, the top numbers, 5 plus 4 equals 9, and we keep the denominator the same. So 9 sevenths, or 1 whole, so 7 out of 7, 1 whole, and then we'd be left with 2 over 7. Let's compare that to our original bar. So the original bar was here, and here is the amount of chocolate left in Mr. Benton's and Mr. Arnold's stash. 9 sevenths is the same, as I mentioned, as 1 whole and then 2 out of my next 7. So I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sevenths, or I could have 1 whole and my extra 2 sevenths. So how many quarters are there? Remember, a quarter is over 4. How many quarters are there? See if you can calculate this. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 quarters. So that's absolutely correct. But can we change that and write it as a mixed number? I can, because I've got 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, and then I have 1 out of my next 4. So 3 and a quarter. A fraction rule can obviously help us to see how many there are in 1 whole. There's 2 halves make 1 whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fifths make 1 whole, and so on. And you can use the denominators to help as well. So let's have a look at the denominator here. This is the number of equal parts the whole is split into, as we know. So if the numerator and the denominator are the same, then the fraction is equivalent to 1 whole. 3/3 is the same as 1 whole. But if the numerator is greater, so more than the denominator, we know that 5 is greater than 3, then we know that it must be greater than 1. Because here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 over 3. Or as a mixed number, I have 1 whole and 1 2/3. Okay, I'm going to move on from that. So you have a few activities saved in the resources. It starts with using the pictures here and then progresses into a bit deeper learning. So recap your knowledge from equivalent fractions, use a fraction rule to help you, and actually just count what's shaded in on the shapes to properly help you calculate fractions greater than 1. Have a great final maths lesson of the half term. See ya.